Today I'm going to start a new series where I create the most detailed and realistic theme park in Minecraft. Yes, that is my goal to do that. I am going to try and see how I will be able to do this. And then I'll take you guys on the journey around it. So I did actually already work on this. So let's just take a look and look at that. So this time lapse is about 12 hours of work, and I'm about halfway done with this first area of the park. Each episode is gonna be around. Nope, jeg skal sige det her først. 3. Allerede 2 minutter. 3, 2, 1. So, this time lapse is about 12 hours of work, and I'm about halfway done with the first area of the park. So, if you like what you see and you want to see more of it, you can always like and subscribe the video. And if I get 4 comments, I will continue this series. I'll probably do it anyways, but it would help me beat the YouTube algorithm. So, right now you're seeing me build the entrance area of the park, and previously I just built the parking lot to the park. So this will be kind of like medieval section of the park, and I'm kind of satisfied with how it came out. It's a very different style than I'm used to when creating the city. So I'm very happy to try and get into something where I can create a lot more detail in the builds. So I hope that gives a little bit more. I'm pretty satisfied with what I got so far. I'm planning on each episode is gonna be about one area. And then I'll do a second series where I try and get the parks to work. So that means I know kind of a lot of some plugins where you can make the different stuff in the park work, and you can get like roller coasters to work and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna do a second series where I do more of the like developing stuff of it, and then this series is about the building of each of these areas. So as I said in the intro, I'm also gonna be doing this as the most detailed and realistic theme park, as you might see. So that means something like creating toilets, backstage areas, storage areas for shops, staff, employee, bathrooms, all that kind of stuff. So kitchens for different restaurants and all that. So I'm kind of trying to do that while I'm creating this. And it do take kind of a lot of work to try and do that. But I'm very happy with how I came out. So, here we are in the park, and as you can see, this is what I just built on the time lapse. It's about 12 hours of work, and I still need like the other side of this area finished. I did plan out all of the area, so I'll just give you a tour of what I've built so far, and then I'll explain what I'm gonna do in the next time lapse after that. So first of all, I had the entrance area. I did create the parking lot first, but I don't think there's too much to say about that. But I did create the entrance area first, and I'm very happy with how this came out. It's very an open and welcoming feeling to get into. And then each of these buildings, I try to have a actual thing they are there for, and not just for looks. So here it's tickets, so you can like buy your tickets right here. And then after that, this in here is also something, but you cannot access it from this side because this is closed off. Yeah. But then you go into the park here, in through the entrance gates, And then I built most of this side over here. So this building that I just explained is a guest service where you can go in and get your park map, get some help, or whatever else you might need at a guest service. Then I also, right next to it, I built a restaurant, and don't mind the yellow up here so far. It will be a sign for this restaurant. I just haven't got around to it because I want to get into Photoshop and try and see if I can do something there. But currently it's just a yellow board. So you go in here, and then I did show off this in the time lapse. So I created this restaurant right here. It's a table service with a buffet. So you get your seat around here, and then you go up into the buffet, and each of them is labeled around here. And then, as I said, I want to be doing this as the most realistic, so I created this back here. I created the kitchen back here for it, and I could imagine you could like order something custom or something, I don't know. So you would go into the kitchen here, then it's in here, and then there is a freezer in there, and a cooler in there, and then also a little office here where the boss of this would be, and then you can also check in for work, for example, over here on the computer. So yeah. So if I just go out here, yeah. So this over here would be the toilets. This is a staff only area. I will show this in one minute. So this is the toilets. I decided to cut it off, split it up in like urinal and non-urinal instead of women and men, because I just thought that would be more interesting. So these are the toilets. They aren't really that detailed because, I mean, it's just toilets, so who cares about those? But yeah. So then the staff would be able to go in here. And this is like a backstage area, so this would be like the guest service, the restaurant, and then the ticket stands is back here. So I think that is pretty neat that you have these backstage areas. And so yeah, if I just go out here, and then go back out, then I'll show you the rest of it. Then this right here is gonna be, I mean, this is just a facade because the restaurant is right behind it, and it's crazy hard to fill anything in here. I did first off make a door here to like the backstage, but I decided not to because it was such a small narrow space, so I just created this wall of like the gradients up instead of that. And then this here is gonna be like a transition over to another area where I don't know yet what theme I will be building, but I think it looked pretty nice. And this here is like a quick service where you can get like fast food and stuff, and of course in here there's also a kitchen in here, and the staff area, the entrance to that is around here. Back in, yeah. And then right next to it I created the park train station. So I didn't finish this entirely in the time lapse, so there's no roof here. But yeah, this would be here. You would go in and take the train station from here and out around the park. Yeah. So this is what I built so far. What I'm gonna build next is I'm planning on this red here to be a carousel. I don't know if I will be building it in this series because I have a plugin I know of that would kind of mess with it a little bit. So maybe I build it, maybe I don't. But yeah, and this blue over here is probably just gonna be a facade. I'm not sure I'm gonna be building anything there. So yeah. And the dark blue here is also gonna be one of those transition buildings from over here. And then this pink is gonna be the area's dark ride, which I'm pretty excited to be building. it's gonna be kind of a candy themed. So the queue would be around here from the entrance, and then going from here and back, and then the station would be back here. And then I'm planning to do it as a candy factory kind of theme. So it'd be kind of a generic, not so story based ride, just a small, easy, kid friendly ride. And then the exit would be here. So you would be exiting there and then coming out here. And then a little small toilet building right here. Restrooms, I think it's called actually. And then a gift shop around here, which I created a storage area backside, and then a staff restroom and a small space for a office. So yeah, this is gonna be this area. I think I'm just gonna get into a time lapse again, and then I'll see you in the time lapse. Yeah. In this time lapse, I am creating the other side of the park, where I am planning to have a dark ride and a gift shop and some toilets, and then a transition to another area. So currently I just built the exit for the dark ride and the facade for the toilet. And then right now I'm working on the gift shop, where merchandise for themed around this area would be sold. And then, yeah. Now I am doing the entrance to the dark ride, where the dark ride would be kind of candy related and themed. So I wanna try and see if I can make that as realistic as possible. So I would be adding a like maintenance bay, a control room, and then having like separate lines for people to stand in, and for it to be easier to separate people into the cars when they arrive at the station. I've built all the facades now I can see on the time lapse, and then now I'm doing the interiors of each of the place. So you can see the toilet I built off camera, and then this gift shop I'm creating right now. I'm creating like a storage area, and then employee toilets, and a office for the boss or something. And then now I'm creating this queue area for the ride. Yeah, and the station, I'm very happy with how the station came out, because I was very confused on how I was gonna do this station, because I didn't know how to make a room kind of feel like it was candy themed, but also still be housing like different functionalities inside of it, and that you would be able to see it just from the building of it, and not because I did some kind of development to make it more seem like it actually worked. So that was kind of a struggle for me, but I'm very happy with how it came out, and I think you can see clearly that it is kind of a candy theme. And I think these red colors really pop the candy theme inside of it, so you clearly can see what it is that is happening. And then right now I'm creating the show scenes. Each of the show scenes, I will show them off in the time lapse after this is done, so you can see how they actually look inside with the like low lighting and stuff. So it's not just like from the outside that it looks kind of boring. I think a lot of dark rides really benefit from the low light of it, so they can more or less hide a lot of stuff. Now I finished all of the interiors, or the last one is this one, and then now I'm kind of finishing up this area, and I decided to make this carousel either way, because I thought it would just be easier to just build it and then see how I can kind of make it work afterwards. And then I planned out these little plants around it, and then yeah, so this is kind of the end, and then I will show you around the whole area in the next part. So now that the park is finished, I want to showcase everything that I've built. So in this time lapse I built primarily this side of the park and also the interiors of the park. So I started off creating these facades all the way to the back, and then after that I went and did all of the interiors. So here is the exit to the right in here, and here is some restrooms. These were just copy pasted from the other ones over here, and yeah, so they're not that special, but they still look nice. So then I made a gift shop in here. I decided to make 2 floors of it because at the end of the day the plan was not that big, so I decided to expand it by creating a second story, so there is more room for it up here. Yeah. I will in the functionality series try to make some armor stands standing here as the like cashier persons. Then next to that is the entrance to the ride. Yeah, let's take a stroll around that. So this is a candy themed ride, and so there is some candy in this queue. Then you go inside this long hallway where you're supposed to be splitting up into 2 lanes. So I'm thinking that the car would be like 4 people seater in 2 per rows, and then you would split up either in the front and in the back here. So you would talk to the kind of boss of the candy factory and the person who runs these tours, and he would introduce you to what would happen and everything. So this is kind of the queue, but he would just be talking like a cycle of something, and then you would just stand there and hear it. If you hear it, you get some clue on what is going on, and if not, then you would still kind of know what would happen. Then this is the station. I'm pretty happy with how this came out. I think it looks very good. Yeah, and this over here is the like switch for the repairmen and stuff, and the people who control the ride. So you would take the ride here, you would board it here, that's the ride from down here, and then you would go in here. Here is the like little pre-show room with the same kind of person who would introduce you to what is going on. Then you would go in here. Please don't mind the signs, this is just for me to know what I should be adding when I am doing the functionality series, so I know what kind of effects I want to have. So this is the like gummy bear laboratory. So that would be having some gummy bears popping up, someone trying to pull this lever, then someone appearing inside this, some particle effects over here, and some slime appearing here. So yeah, a lot of different effects happening in here. Then this right here is the bubblegum kind of, I don't want to, tubes. So bubblegum would be traveling upside these tubes, and then some overflow of it would be like dripping from these tubes also. Yeah. And then the last room is this chocolate river going through here, and there would also be some chocolate fountains coming out of it, and there is some higher points of it, and yeah, I'm very happy with it, with how this came out. And there are some candy floss trees, and yeah, this room is meant to be very obvious that it's a set and not real life. So if I wanted it to look more real life, I would have given it much more depth in the walls and roof and stuff, but this is more meant to be like low budget kind of room. And then this is the exit. So you would exit out there where we came from. This here is for the cars to travel back to the station, but along this way there is a emergency stop area where the repairman can come and fix it. And this has the entrance from the little control room here. So you would go out here and fix it, and then you can come back here and come out on the track. Yeah. So let's go out through the exit. I'll show you more around. So go out here, and then after the ride, I still need to make a sign for it, but I will do that in functionality series along with the sign for the restaurant over here. So along that there is a transition building to another area where you would go through here and then into another area over here. Then there is like a filler building. It has no purpose at all, just to kind of fill up this little area. And then the big main thing here in the middle is a carousel that I will also try to make work. I decided to just build it and then see what I can do when I do the functionality series and see what I can do to make it work. So currently there are no horses or cars as there would be in a carousel because I didn't want to build it until I had the functionality down. So yeah, but I'm pretty happy with how this came out. Then I finished this area up with the path and some tree decorations, some lighting all around, and then I added these kind of decorations hanging around the area. Yeah. So I'm very happy with how all of this came out, and I am very excited to start on the next theme for this area. I will be posting a poll in my Discord server where I will be making checking up with what you guys want to see in this next area. So you guys will decide what I will be building in the next area and what theme I will be going for. And then yeah, I will just try and see if I can come up with that. So now I'm gonna go off here and let you guys enjoy a small little time lapse, a small little cinematic I created of the area, and then I hope I see you guys in the next episode. Bye!